guys, Jack here, and today I've got a Football Manager 2014 Matchday video analysis for you guys today. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the newly released Football Manager 2014 video. Link is down in the description if you want to see the original. Massive thank you to Sega and the guys over at Sports Interactive for giving me the permission to upload this video with my own thoughts and my own audio over the top. And yeah, let's get straight into things. Let's talk about what there is to expect from Football Manager 2014. So kicking things off, there's a complete overhaul to tactics. Looking at the tactics screen now, this is on the default white classic skin. It looks amazing. I really like the look of this. Your alternative tactics are stored at the top really nicely and slickly. The whole thing looks so much nicer. Now, the first thing they announced was the removal of sliders. In Football Manager 2014, much like in real football, you'll no longer have sliders to adjust how a player performs, but instead, on top of their original duty, be that fullback, you have options to adjust their possession, distribution, movement and dribbling kind of play styles that they play within their roles, which is something really nice to see. I think people are going to miss sliders. They've been a long part of FM for a while, but this new system whereby you have a player role you set and then you're able to tweak exactly how they play that role and then save it as a preset, offer a player multiple kind of instructions per each role, so when they play a fullback they might not get so far forward. If you decide to play him as a wing back, you might slightly change your instructions and you're able to set it for each role. Is something really nice, and I do like the look of it. I was a bit skeptical at first, but removing the sliders, it seems a lot slicker, the tactics as a whole, and a whole lot nicer. Looking at the tactics screen on Matchday here, you can see they've added a whole lot more stuff. It just looks nicer. In Matchday now, you're easily able to toggle through players and adjust their individual instructions. It looks like on this version of Football Manager, on top of the role, they're really trying to push the idea of you being able to tweak each player's individual role really nicely. Sports Interactive, great decision. I love the look of this, being able to really fully define your players' roles. On top of course, defining the existing player roles, they've added the 8 new ones. You can see them on screen here. Pause it at any point if you want to see each role's kind of description in more detail. If you want to learn more about the roles, I've got a video that I'm doing, or a series of videos that I'm doing covering each role in detail, and I highly suggest you check that out if you want to learn more about the roles that have been introduced. On top of this, they've also introduced new default tactics. Now, while on the face of it, you may be thinking, well, I set up my tactics myself and I've made this tactic, and so what if it's not a default? What you have to remember now is Sports Interactive, in implementing these new formations, it now means that the computer and the AI are going to use these tactics and these formations when you play against them. And so hopefully, combined with the newly announced features, Sports Interactive announced about how the computer and AI are going to react to your management and your tactics, I'm hoping that it's going to be far more challenging and that we're going to see a lot more kind of flexibility and more interesting kind of oppositions that we come up against in single player games. On top of this, you can now see a player's suitability for each role is selected when you click on them, and on top of this they've added additional aesthetic changes allowing you to look at players' statuses, click on them and have them all stacked so you can see them all at once. And there's also new playing icons when players are away on holiday. So whilst this isn't a massive change, it's something that just adds to the real niceties and aesthetics of the game and makes it far better to look at and far usable for me as the player. They've also improved the pre-match screens. Now you can see your up-and-coming opposition's last known team lineup, previous performances, and there's also now a new stat tracking page which allows you to compare your squad with the opposition squad, look at where you've been in the league in the past, look at who their top goal scorers are, who their top players for assists are, and really identify the threats. And I love the look of this screen. Really exciting stuff. Being able to see this much more detail just makes it so much better, and looks like it's going to be a really exciting addition come Football Manager 2014. Sports Interactive have also added in an ability to look at your fixtures coming up prior to selecting your lineup on match day. This is so you can choose, do I need to rotate my squad? So rather than having to click on the fixtures and then click back, you can now check it all on one screen. And they've also slightly tweaked Team Talks, allowing you to look at more detail about exactly why a player's reacted the way they have. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit disappointed to see in Football Manager 2014 it doesn't look like there's any major talks to the Team Talks you can give, nor the player instructions you can give your players. I'd love to be able to do more than just tell my players to mark a player tightly, maybe give a player specifically tight tackles. I'd love to see some stuff like maybe ruffling the player's feathers if he doesn't perform well under pressure. You know, just some new instructions would be amazing. On top of it, they've also improved the lighting for the match engine. No newer animations as of yet, but the lighting lighting is certainly noticeable and a really nice aesthetic change, which I think is going to improve the kind of overall usability of the game. On top of this, they've made the ball brighter, they've added little prompts at the bottom of the screen that allow you to know when it's offside, and they've also enhanced the Matchday Timeline, which is great, and I'm hoping the timeline is a lot more usable than it was this year, because for me it always felt clunky when I used it. It didn't quite do what I wanted to do, and it also looks like they've improved match stats, so you can see action zones for the last 5 minutes, really allowing you to in-game during a match analyse what's going wrong for you, look at maybe what teams had possession for what amount in the last 10 minutes, and really analyse and allow you to respond to these problems that you're presented with in game. On top of this, and adding on to the kind of idea of responding to what you see in game, now when assistants offer you advice, you can just click a button to apply advice. Previously in Football Manager 2013, you had to click into the team settings and adjust it all yourself if an assistant said this guy's getting too much space. Now you can simply click apply advice and it does it. On top of this, there's also feedback given by your coach and assistant managers pre-game, and a team talk feedback screen after the game. I really hope this has some kind of history option whereby you can look at your team talks in the history. Wasn't shown in those screenshots unfortunately, but I'd love something whereby I can look at a team talk history, and rather than having to note down how players react in a notebook, I can simply go onto a page and look at a history of team talks. Anyway guys, that wraps things up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to hear more about Sports Interactive and Football Manager 2014 in this video from a factual perspective, link down below in the description will take you to the original video. Massive thank you to the guys over at Sports Interactive for allowing me to re-upload this video with my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed my kind of thoughts on it. Let me know what you think of the announced features and the stuff that they've announced today down in the comment section. I love hearing your views. Other than that, if you did enjoy, leave a like. If you're new around here, subscribe to my channel for Football Manager 2014 stuff. And other than that guys, it is me Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.